To everybody that's lying on the beach, please remember, you are in breach of the public health order if you are not wearing your mask.
I was watching these news stories coming out of Australia.
The Premier has asked the Prime Minister for more military support to bolster the ring of steel around Melbourne.
Searching a truckie's cabin and quickly discovering a stowaway Victorian. The woman accused of trying to illegally enter from New South Wales.
This stuff that Dan Andrews was getting up to.
One more comment about human rights, honestly.
A Facebook post in relation to a lockdown protest you put on for Saturday.
It's very important to remind the oppression that took place.
For what? For a mask? For what? For not having a mask?
I indicate to the Human Rights Law Centre, those considerations are not the first ones.
The tyranny.
They persuaded 12-year-olds!
The measures that took place.
Melburnians are no longer allowed to travel further than 5 kilometres from home. From 8 p.m. to 5 a.m, residents are ordered to stay indoors.
That were utterly tyrannical.
Okay, they're shooting. They're now shooting.
It was just insane.
Why are parking ticket inspectors allowed to work during stage 4?
Well, firstly, let me follow up on that matter.
If you are anti-mandate, you are absolutely anti-vax. I don't care what your personal vaccination status is.
It may be that we actually have indoor mask wearing for years.
Today, we'll see you tomorrow.
When journalists are not doing their job, when they're not calling out tyranny, then you start to worry.
We've seen mass job losses, hundreds of billions of dollars spent in government stimulus. All our hopes are riding on a vaccine. You need to be quiet.
Many of us will be faced with a new dilemma: how to handle unvaccinated loved ones and whether you should spend time with them.
Mandating vaccines is a very sensible approach. If you're in a restaurant, you want to know that the people sitting alongside you, breathing in the same air as you, have also been vaccinated.
We had people who lost their jobs.
People that don't want this mandatory vaccine, how do we manage this?
Well, then they won't be going to work.
More than 1 million authorised workers no longer allowed on site if they haven't had a jab.
Who had their lives destroyed.
Sheila Annette Lewis,
all I want to do is live,
has died after she was refused an organ transplant because she refused the COVID vaccination.
So I admire very much those who actually were able to fight against tyranny.
Different classes of people. If you're vaccinated or if you're unvaccinated, you have all these rights. If you are vaccinated,
that is what it is.
The Philippine Commission on Human Rights warning government about implications of President Duterte's order to bar unvaccinated people from going outdoors.
But don't think you can get on a plane or a train besides vaccinated people and put them at risk.
To protect the health system, we're going to lock out people who are not vaccinated.
We didn't go through World War II and all the way through the Nuremberg Trials to throw out every single principle that we supposedly learned about bodily autonomy and government power.
If an employer allows an unvaccinated staff member on site, they can be fined more than $21,000 and the business will be hit with almost a $110,000 fine. Workers who falsely claim they've had the jab will wear a $10,000 fine.
That crisis was totally exploited and it's destroyed trust in the government.
As long as we let them get away with it, where's the resistance going to come from?
I'm going to be speaking out, and I'm not going to be silent because I want to see ultimately those people to be held accountable.
I have no compassion for those who turned on their fellow human beings and treated them like crap during the COVID pandemic, or who discriminated against them willfully, or who treated them in ways that you could only describe as better belonging to last century. Those people owe everyone an apology, and even then I'm not sure I would accept it.